Hello and welcome everyone to Purbayan's Career Pathways Session 1. It is a great pleasure of mine to welcome three esteemed women who are all educated in the field of science and engineering. My name is Shutama Ghosh. I am an associate professor in the Department of Geography and Environmental Studies at the Toronto Metropolitan University in Toronto. I'm also an adjunct professor working in the Department of Geography in University of Toronto, only in the graduate school. But I come here wearing a different hat today. So my job is that of a moderator. And this session we have created through Purbayan Canada with a particular mission. And our mission is to provide guidance and social networking as well as professional networking opportunities to those women who have arrived in Canada more recently. Purbayan Canada is a grassroots level organization whose mission, one of the missions, is to help newcomers come and settle in Toronto. They have been working towards this, helping people and getting them to network, not only in the employment sector, but also in terms of their housing issues, solving some of their educational pathways and so on and so forth for the past 12 years. There are three people whom I should acknowledge and their contribution, and that is Bashov Goswami, Shondeep Chaudhuri, and Prosenjit Roy. Usually, they are the three who have started this sort of session, and I have recently taken over doing this. You can see some of our episodes that we have done last year on YouTube as well, on Purbayan Canada's website, as well as the YouTube channel. Please make sure that you subscribe to us. Having said that, I would like to now introduce to you the esteemed panel. The first person I want to introduce you is Keakoli Ghosh. She holds a BSc in Physiology honors degree from Calcutta University, popular among several community children, including my own, as their favorite Miss Kea from UC Mass. Kea is, in fact, more than a math teacher. She's a very successful entrepreneur running a UC Mass school for over 14 years now. And she also has a growing real estate business. Welcome to the panel, Kea.
Thank you, Shudama.
The second person that I want you to be introduced to, and maybe you should take notes here, is Irani Biswas. Irani Biswas is a senior project delivery manager with extensive experience in banking and financial IT management services. So all those of you who are IT people, you should now look out for her because she has 24 plus years of experience as an IT professional working across Asia and North America. Irani is a champion of agile and safe methodologies and will share with us her career pathway in Canada. So, welcome, Irani.
Thank you, Shutamadi, for having me.
The third person is Sweta Sarkar. Sweta is also an engineer. She has a BTech in civil engineering and received postgraduate certifications on construction project management and supply chain management from Canada. Sweta is currently working as a construction project coordinator for an US based construction and restoration company in the GTA. She will be joining a master's program at Western University this fall. What a proud moment for all of us. Welcome, Sweta.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, beyond these bios that are, of course, important and their qualifications, it is very important to also say that all these women are, in fact, living with their families. In fact, whereas Kea and Irani are both married with older children and have brought up their children primarily here in Canada. Sweta lives with her parents here in Toronto. So, without further ado, let's start this interview process. In round one, I will ask each of the panelists to describe their career path since they came to Canada. You have approximately 2.5 to 3 minutes each. Let's start with Kia.
Okay, so I came here on a visitor visa along with my husband. Although I had my teacher's training from back home, initially I was not very sure what to do with my career. And to be very honest, maybe I was not even serious about it. At the same time, I wanted to explore other options also. I wanted to get some formal sort of education here. So after my like when I got immigration, I studied some travel and tourism course and started my work here in you wouldn't know about it now. It's called Canada 3000. That was an airline. I worked as a customer service. That was my first paid job here in Canada. But before that, while I was studying, I had to do volunteering. Volunteering is a very big thing here in Canada. Without that, you cannot do anything, especially us, like coming from back home, we have no experience, Canadian experience. So we had to do the volunteering. And that would, I volunteered in different places. In a way, I can say that that would be my first exposure to Canadian work culture, how it is. And working in the Canada 3000 helped me gain a deeper understanding about customer service and obviously other fields of the work. Unfortunately, it went bankrupt after 9/11. So I had to look for another work. And then I decided, you know what, then I finally maybe I realized that teaching is my real passion and I wanted to get back to my teaching field. But by then I already have a Canadian work experience, although not in not in the teaching field, but I have a Canadian work experience. And I also had teacher. I have finished my teacher's course from back home, so it was relatively easy for me to get the job, and I started teaching there. um, After a while, for about like when I had my second child, I decided to give it a break and spend some time with my family. So back, after when I was ready, after that break, when I was ready to get back to the work, I wanted to get into something where I don't have to be in that 9 to 5 job, because I have a young family to look after, and I wanted to spend some time with my kid also. So that's when I started the UCMAS, and I realized that what, since I can also do the teaching here, and along with that I can have my career. So that's it.
Okay, and just a quick follow-up. So I know that you have a sort of a knack for entrepreneurial kind of work. So what made you decide? So I guess I'm trying to ask you a follow-up question on what you've already said. What factors would you say helped you to decide that no, from now on I'm going to be an entrepreneur as well as a teacher, of course.
Honestly, there was no factor. It just happened because, like I said, when I took the gap from, I wanted a gap for after I had my second child. I wanted to focus on my family. So once I started exploring different things, I found UCMAS, and I really like the how the UCMAS work and everything. And then I realized, this is something I can do, because I can then also fulfill my dream as being a teacher. Along with that, definitely I had to, starting a business is a totally different ball game, and I had my shares of ups and down. I'm still having my shares of ups and down, and I had to take some courses from there. I have to understand the business aspect. So it's not like didn't get a call, but maybe I can say, to spend time with my family, so I can have my work and family balance.
Yeah, thank you for that. So,
Thank you.
quickly, let's go into asking Irani about your career path, just to so that the people who are listening to this have a good idea. Kiakuli, I believe, came to Canada in 1998. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. I did.
So in that regard, we can call Keakoli the earlier immigrant.
Yeah.
And so now we will ask Irani to say a few words about her journey in Canada. If I'm not mistaken, Irani had been to Canada once and then went back home and came again. So I want her to actually talk a little bit about that journey. Over to you, Irani.
Thank you, Shrutamadi, once again for having me. I wish a very happy Saraswati Puja to all who will be celebrating it, and heartfelt thanks to Purbayan for arranging it. I'm currently working as a senior manager agile delivery with one of the leading banks here. I started my career in Canada when I permanently kind of immigrated in 2019 with a project management contract job with another bank. However, the job was not at per my experience level or skill set, I would say. However, it helped me enter the Canadian market and gain the necessary experience that was required. I eventually switched to a permanent and more senior position with another financial institution and then to another retail organization before joining the current org. And as you said, Shrutamadi, yes, between 2012 and 2014, we were also here, but at the time we were actually on a work visa. So I was basically kind of continuing my job back home, only like in a remote mode. So I would not really say that as as part of my Canadian career, but yes, that's how it was.
A follow-up question on you, Irani, is that people, the little that I know of the IT sector is a very complicated sector. When people say I work for IT, it can mean so many things to so many people. So for newcomers who are coming with a science background, what is that qualification that they actually need to be in a starting position, say in the IT sector for that matter? And I totally acknowledge that I don't understand the IT sector, and I'm looking to you for guidance on that.
Yeah, of course, you're perfectly correct, actually, Shutama. The IT is a very vague term, I would say. It means like a lot to a lot of people. But if really someone wants to get into the software and IT market, there are several channels of work, I would say. There are technical work, which actually needs some software and engineering background. And then there are roles in soft skills, like, obviously that needs some technical background as well, but you can also do some management courses, business management, project management courses to get into that channel as well. So really, that actually, it depends on what you choose. If it's a technical role, you would need an engineering background. But if you want to go with more of administrative and soft skill based roles, then the background should be more into management, business management, project management. There are several courses now. And to be honest, like, probably 20, 25 years back, it was not really so clear. We didn't have really proper courses outlined for people who really wanted to join. And you would see people in IT industry 25, 35 years back, they kind of flocked from various, I would say, skill sets. Like people even doing academics kind of switched to IT because at the time, people used to think, okay, that's the most lucrative, and people were just flocking in. But it really, it went to its peak, and then now it has streamlined, and people have more focused courses prepping them up for the industry.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's move quickly to Sweta. Sweta, you are also from the sciences background. You're a trained civil engineer. So, what was your career path like? Especially the fact that you're now going for upgrading your training. I'm assuming, given that you want to do a master's degree at Western. What's your career path, and what made you choose to upgrade your skills?
First of all, I would like to thank Purbayan Canada for giving me the chance and like inviting me to this panel. I came in Canada at around end of 2019. And as a international student, I completed my BTech in civil engineering from India, and then I chose construction project management because I always had the inclination towards project management and leadership roles. Uh, so I chose construction project management, but basically this was my second choice. My first choice was always to complete my master's degree. So I did apply for my master's, same college, Western University. I though got accepted, but it was too late. But I already had my offer letter and my study permit and everything from uh, my college, and the Western University offer letter came at around November. So it was too late for me to accept at that point of time. So nevertheless, so I chose the path which was chosen for me, and I came to Canada. I studied the construction project management. Thereafter I did the supply chain management in order to uh, deepen, vast my and area of knowledge. And I wanted to know the Canadian industries as well, so supply chain management helped me know that better. So I completed that, and then I tried to different volunteer for a lot of my college programs and everything. But the problem was that there was COVID-19, and getting like knowing the Canadian industry is easier than to getting into the Canadian industry. And on top of that, it was like a very tough nut to crack for me. I was looking for specialized jobs which was related to my field, project management or anything related to construction. But I was for a very long time I was not able to get into it. But finally, 2 years back, I was hired as a project coordinator at an US based construction and renovation company. So it's first on site, and I have been working with them ever since.
Okay, I think all three of you, in fact, have touched upon some of your challenges, kind of, when you came to Canada. What I am seeing, there is a little bit of a pattern here, which I'm going to try to, sort of discern. But before going to that, when you look at yourself today, what is there any discrepancy that you notice that is related particularly to your gender? As you know, that we are trying to understand women's issues and their ways of empowerment this year. Uh, did you have any or feel that there is a discrepancy between who you wanted or aspired to be and who are you now? Or is it that you actually have kind of surpassed your goals, or you have achieved your goals, that kind of thing? So we are going to start in the reverse order, starting with Sweta first.
Thank you, Shutamadi. So first, I will start, as you said, that there obviously are some gender biasness everywhere. I would say not in Canada, but I guess everywhere around the world. So, and talking about the construction industry from which I am, it is completely a male-dominated industry. And even today, after everything, I have so many managers who have been female, but still there are, I talk to contractors every day who feel that we know less than them. So it is obviously there's a huge gender biasness going around, but I feel that it is not like all the people. There are very that quantity of people has minimized a lot. There are not many people who think like that, because even in my company, I have my managers who feel very highly of me. They are always encouraging me, helping me around, like, because I was when I joined, I was like, I didn't know anything around. So they helped me learn the things. They helped me how to even do everything around. So it it is minimized a lot, but of course the gender biasness is always there. That was a challenge, but to me it is not the primary challenge. The primary challenge was the Canadian market is very tricky, and because every specialized industry has a very small hole where you can go through. So you have to get to your point of dedication so that you can reach there, and you have to finally get through, because you keep applying it, you cannot get an interview. But there is some click that happens sometimes that helps you get into the industry. So same thing happened to me.
Yeah, I think you raise a very important point, which I was actually going to lead, but I thought, okay, let me not guide you to that. So this is so Irani, I'd like you to comment a little bit on a little bit of that follow up. Is that often they say that whether you are in a professional, highly professional field such as IT, or a very male dominated industry such as construction, or even real estate business, which is also pretty male dominated. Would you say that one of the challenges is not what you know, rather who you know? And I just want you, I'm not trying to, I want you to talk about your challenge, but also can you please reflect a little bit on this as well as Kia when your turn comes?
Yeah, for sure, Shrutamadi. Actually, I would say if you really ask me my challenge, uh, more than gender bias, the main challenge that I faced is getting accepted in Canada, because I immigrated here almost at the midst of my career, right? Already had like a considerable amount of years in already in back home, right? So almost coming in the midst of the career, starting afresh without Canadian experience was the greatest challenge. So as you said, and now going back to what you asked, it mattered a lot. What I knew, I already had a I've an established career there, but what I knew at that point was not important. It was actually getting in the industry and how would you get into the industry. And the main thing here is networking. So you need to know people, you need to know, have acquaintances with the recruiters, you need to know who are hiring. And how would you know that from, like, newcomer? It's very tricky. So the first thing that any newcomer would need to do is to get into the community, talk to people, build your network. That's how you will land your first job. And at the time, you would not even see whether that job is basically way lower than what you were doing back home, or your pay is not that great. It does, you feel like sad. You should not think like that, like, because the first and most key point is just enter the industry. And as Sweta just said, right, like the hole to get into any industry for that matter is very small. You just need to basically have that window, find out that window. So the first thing is, and organizations like Purbayan and others, like these meetups, to give them tips, to mentor, that's what is needed. So yes, you need to know people, but it's not that they need to be very influential people. People who can actually guide you and tell you their experience, and tell you how you can probe your way through. That's what I would like to say.
Kuli, thank you so much. Kia Kuli?
Yeah, for me also, um, sorry, yeah, I'm not on mute. For me also, there was not that much gender bias thing, because maybe the career path that I chose, teacher, so I didn't face that much. But definitely when I was new here, I and again I came at the beginning of my career. I had a very little career back home, and then when I moved in here, I was very young. So coming from a defined background, defined education, joining in this field was a little bit different. Although I studied here, I did volunteering, but again, without some help from other people getting the guidance, I couldn't have done that. How am I supposed to know that you need to volunteer here? Because volunteering is something that you don't do there back home, right? So that something was new for me too. So, yeah.
Okay, these are some of very, very important reality checks for
Yeah,
newcomers, especially who think, who kind of can feel depressed, that I'm not getting a job. I'm not. Just to tell you a little bit about my own experience, I came also, like you, Sweta, as an international student, and 25 years ago, but still came as an international student, and I really didn't know that whether or not I will have a career as an academic.
true.
But in our field, the field is a little bit different. There is no such thing as who you know, but I still believe that to some extent the reference letters means everything. So you've worked with a great guy, I mean, as your supervisor, you're more likely to get a good job. And because again, it is networking, it may be a little covert process, but you'll still need to do that networking. In this round three that we are now going to come to, I'm going to start with Keakuli, because she has not only been a successful immigrant entrepreneur, but she has also raised two lovely girls, both of them quite accomplished in their own way. But I would like to know, Kia, what were some of those challenges where I know at some point in time you had some family sicknesses going on, but you kept your career on charge and kept it upward and onward. If you don't mind us asking you, how did you actually balance all those things going on in your family and still be on the path of your career? Can you reflect a little bit?
Yeah, see, first of all, my idea or definition of success is not to go on a corporate ladder 9 to 5. I'm sorry, no offense to anyone who is doing it, but that's just me. Maybe it's not like, maybe I'm not thinking along the line, same line with others, but that's just my. So that's why I wanted to be, from the very beginning, I wanted to make sure that I can have some time for my family. And at the same time, I can do all the things and in my, work field also. So that is the main reason, like, when you asked me previously what made you move to this entrepreneurship, that is one of the, like, thought behind moving to that entrepreneurship. Sure, I had my challenges because I have my, like, as a mother, I raised two young kids when I came here. They were both, like, one of them was not even born here, and another one was very small. So, but I had a very supportive partner at the same time, I would say. But still, like, even with that support, you still have to manage work and, build the business. It's not easy, but, if you want to balance it, it's doable. I wouldn't say it's not doable, but it's, yeah, it's not easy.
Really?
Uh, yeah, before I answer this, I would just say that just for anyone who doesn't know me, I have a daughter who is at a very critical juncture of her career, making decisions how to shape up her career. I have a lot of senior people living with me, that about 8 people. It almost would probably seem like a joint family somewhere in North Kolkata. So, and then, then I have a husband who is very supportive. However, he has too many channels and avenues of
Hmm.
work. He's into a lot of things. So you can see time is the key for me. How I balance out time, that's the most important.
Exactly.
And to be honest, like, I do agree with Kea that I, like, in whatever I've done so far, I have always kept family at an equal par. Like, it's not at any cost ignoring them. So how I have managed, and again, IT jobs are very demanding for that matter. So how I have managed is I have tried to basically, swap around my tasks. I used to do a lot of my office work at night in a quieter time, where I can be with myself, and where I've actually, I accomplished all my chores back in the house. Like, I've spent time with my teen, and then I could focus. So it's basically, I would say, how you balance out the task, you can do everything, but if you have a good time management skill. I won't say that I have mastered it, but that's something that I constantly try to do.
Fantastic. Sweta?
Shuddhama,
Yes,
sorry. If I may add that, what she was saying, we have to learn to set the boundaries, communicate effectively along with
exactly.
that. And night thing is also that I have done. Once I've finished all the chores, night is my only time where I'm sitting down and doing
Exactly.
finishing up all the work, because then no one is here to disturb. And that maybe made us more resilient and help
Hmm.
us do the work.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are very good points,
Yeah.
actually. Sweta?
So I'm definitely taking notes from carefully and Iraniti for my future, for all the uh, I need to do, what I have to do. But for me, so my responsibility first was to uh, take care of my family, not my parents, because my parents took care of me whenever I needed them. So I always had this dream of uh, bringing them to Canada, living so that they don't feel alone, they are not left out back in India. So when I came here alone, I was panicking a lot. I had the responsibility of the student loan as well hanging above my head. So I had to, I, just not the time management, I had to do budgeting as well, with a lot of cutting back on all the luxuries basically. So I did, so finally I am here, my parents are here, I'm taking care of them, they're living with me. So my sisters are also here, so they are also getting their share. But for me, it is an achievement to myself as well, that I am able to bring them here. They are with me, they're not alone there. And even for this, if I talk about the industry here, if like how with my job I balance it, it's basically my job is very demanding, because I have to talk to a lot of people all the way around. And it is very difficult to keep my calm basically in the day, because mostly I have to talk in the day, although some nights as well. But it is very difficult with everybody around, keeping my calm, talking to everybody so much, managing all the work. But I that is a skill that I have gained in the past 2 years of my experience that I have, which is very small, but I'm trying to be better. And yes, I guess all through since to 2019 till date, I what I have my main for primary responsibility was to pay off my student loan, which I did last year. And finally, because even when I came here initially 6 months I had no job, so I was not sure if I will be able to pay off my loan. But eventually I got into this a lot of survival jobs, including warehouse jobs, cleaning, cashier, everything. And then finally I got here. And I guess this is, to me, it's a quite a nice achievement. I don't want to say like very big of me, but me, feel really proud sometimes that I was able to do it, because I was not sure that I'll be able to do it.
We are immensely proud of you, Sweta, because we also know that how you help out your parents run a very successful entrepreneurial operation as well. So kudos to you. Having said all this, I'd like you to. I know this is somewhat of a kind of a follow-up question, because Irani actually did kind of touch upon some of those points, which makes me question. Kia, if somebody was to become an entrepreneur, say they want to open a education franchisee like yours, what are some of the advice that you would give them? Similarly, I'm going to give Kia a little few minutes to think through it. I'd like to ask Irani as well, that if somebody wants to come from India or is here and is watching this show, you have touched upon some of those issues. I'm wondering to what extent you would be sort of willing to mentor them, or what should they bring you with? Sort of what are some of the things that they can bring to you so that you can give them that guidance? And the question to Sweta is that, if I've understood it correctly, you came in to study in a college, and now you're going for your master's program into the university. I do a lot of work on international students who have come into the colleges. I'd like you to comment very briefly on how does that transition sort of work from college to university, just very briefly, okay? So we'll start with Kia.
Okay, so if someone wants to do something on their own, like build up a business, I can only talk about my USIMAS thing because that's the one I'm running successfully so far. I'm started real estate and I'm working on it, but obviously I can talk about the USIMAS. First of all, you have to have the educational background, like in the sense of like the teaching background. That is something needed. And then you have to like once you open up the USIMAS, my suggestion is that USIMAS or any educational background, my suggestion and advice would be that don't think that overnight you can have a success, especially in this country. Coming from India, where people education is the topmost priority of most of their parents. So if you say that, like if you know that when we were young, all the education center is to learn like this. But here it's the opposite because the education system is different here in Canada. Parents also are not that much eager to send their kids to these places. So sending their kids to all these places like educational places is not their first priorities because most of the time I get my students are also immigrant parents. So their first priority is settling down, getting a job and all those things. After that comes there's this point. So my only advice would be not to like don't think that overnight it will happen. You need to be consistent and true to what you are doing. Then only give them good advice and then it will build up definitely.
You will also need some capital, isn't it? They will need some loans. Can you advise a little bit on that?
See, when I started my UCMAS, definitely there was not capital needed. That not that much capital needed. So yeah, but now I don't know what's the cost is. So definitely they will be needing some loans, and they can always take a business loan from banks and other places. But for me, when I started it, it was like because again UCMAS is in the UCMAS was also very pretty young, so I didn't have to spend that much money.
So you would advise them to take the loan from a recognized
Yeah.
bank, national bank, rather
Oh,
than a
definitely. Taking
money
a loan from a
lender.
bank is no, not like that's most advisable.
Thank you. Okay, Irani, over to you. Again, if you can just briefly repeat the question because people might have forgotten what the question was, and answer it, please. Thank
Yeah. So I believe, Snutamadi, what you wanted to know is for newcomers, what I can help them with and how they can get started, just to summarize. So I would say that, being relevant to the industry is one major thing. Wherever you're working from here in Canada or back home, you need to keep your eyes and ears open and find out at every point that what's the thing that's going in the industry. So you have to invest and keep yourself upgraded. I have said that earlier, and I'll re-emphasize that you have to build your network. You can start with a lot of, like job sites like LinkedIn, where you can connect with people who you know, and then you also, indirectly get connected to their network. Then you can join these kind of forums, and then, find someone who can be your mentor. I am more than happy if someone wants to, like, if I can assist or if someone wants to make me their mentor, I can, whatever I know of and I've learned here, I'm more than willing to share. But I think these are the three main things I would really recommend.
fantastic. Sweta?
Thank you, Shrutamadi. So my question was that how the newcomers, specifically the international student, how can they apply to this colleges and universities? How can the transition be? So talking of that, basically, since from back in India, I applied to both places, colleges and universities as well. So there, the application process is completely different for both the institutes. So for colleges, you won't need a lot of like I won't say experience, but I would say the knowledge background, the academic background, how much you got your scores, what was your percentage GPA, that does factor. But I guess that is also a little bit lower than what the university requires, because the universities has high standards. And even for colleges, it's a pretty streamlined. You have to go to the college website, uh, specifically for any of the application stages, international students. The application deadline closes very early, so if you have to apply in fall, you have to start planning in probably from the year ahead, or probably January. You cannot wait more than that. You have to have your applications done by March. So it is, you have to plan very diligently how you can apply, what documents you need, what are all the requirements. So for colleges, you just have to apply. You have to provide your all the mark sheets, your certificates, whatever you have got through. There are a few little bit of questions that comes through. Very few colleges require any sort of references, but colleges do not require that. But yes, your certificates, your academic documents, you have your passing certificate, everything, those are the documents that require for colleges. And of course, a year of the tuition fees that you have to pay out after you get your offer of application. But for universities, it is a big process, and it takes some time to fill it out. It is, you have to give all your details along with your academic documents. You have to get probably some thesis paper or some very good references from your professors, because the reference procedure is very lengthy. They ask a lot of questions to your professor, so it is you have to know the people who are you are sending, that this is the person will refer me. So it is, because I know when I asked my professor to refer me and they got the details, so after that they told me that it is a very long process. They have to answer a lot of questions. They have to go through all my documents so that they can answer it properly. So of course that is a big portion. And for university applications, you have to write an SOP of why you want to study in that particular college, what are your goals and everything. And after that, once you get your offer of admission, then only you can apply your study permit and everything. But right now, keeping the all the immigration changes and everything happening, uh, college admission and everything has become very dicey. So it will be preferable to plan ahead, apply for a university, getting a degree than a diploma. So it is very much preferable.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. One addition that I would like to just a note is that if anybody who wants to actually come in or are already here as a college student but wants to go to the university, please ensure that there is something called a credit transfer, in the sense that so the credits that you get from a college, if it is equivalent or not with the university, then if it is equivalent, then you will get a credit transfer. So make sure that you are not repeating your courses, and that when the transition from the college to the university happens, please make sure that you are aware that your credits can be transferred. So that's a very, very important issue, and you'll save a lot of money. So we are at the end of our program here today. I'd like you all to briefly tell me to what extent do you think grassroots level organization like Purbayan could help newcomers in the future? As I told you, we do have some YouTube videos we've done previously, but usually we used to do this live. Just a quick 30 seconds, last word. What do you think we can do as an organization to help new immigrants, particularly women?
Um, I can go if you want to ask. So I think the Purbayan family has a lot of talent within them, so they can actually be mentors to many of the newcomers. I would say that would be the best thing to do. And have more of these sessions where people will get to know the challenges people have already faced and how they have overcome. So and more inclusion, like bring in more people, and if possible have these kind of sessions more in person. uh, these will be, I think, very beneficial.
Exactly.
I actually agree exactly with what Irani said. What Purbayan is already doing is excellent, having all this session, but maybe they can do it more frequently and have some mentors if people are interested. I know that when we do these things, we always tell them that you can, if someone wants, they can approach. So if when someone wants any advice for, say, for getting into IT field, that Irani is there, and Purbayan people, like in Purbayan itself, there are lots of people. So what Purban doing is excellent, but they can do it more frequently. That would be more beneficial for others. And thank you, by the way, for inviting me to the panel.
Shweta?
So here I would like to first add that it is from Purbayan that I was able to get into my first job, because Purban Canada, when I first went to, it was first year attending a Purban Canada Saraswati Pujo, and where I met with Amitabh Boda, and he helped me, guided me through the pathway, and he helped me with how I should apply, where I should apply, and everything. And it was Purban Canada who helped me get my first job in this construction role, and I am very very grateful to it. So as Irani Di and Kayakrudi said, what Purban is doing now is awesome. It's great. I don't think there can be any alternative to this, but yes, of course, there can be more frequent sessions, frequent meetups where we can individually meet people who are actually, because I know the phase where in the very initial days in Canada, it can be very frustrating and depressing. So we can invite more people who are coming to Canada, so they can also see for themselves that yes, they can also do what they dream of, and can accomplish what they want. So it is possible. So you just have to find the right path. And I guess Purba in Canada and most of all these organizations help a lot. So you have to get to that community, you have to reach to your community, and that is where you can get all your help you needed.
Yep. So thank you for that. So last year, we have initiated a process where we have actually created a list on a Google sheet, and all those people in Purbayan, Canada, the professional men and women, have actually filled up that sheet, and it is, I believe, available through Purbayan, Canada. So I want to tell all those viewers who are watching this show today to please take a look at that sheet. And the phone numbers, emails are all there. You can reach out. So I want to thank you all for coming to this show and participating so willingly and so wonderfully lively discussion. I strongly and sincerely request you to please subscribe, and also once these episodes are uploaded, to please share it with as many people as you can. So thank you all.